Alright guys, what's going on? So doing a little face cam today, and today's going to be more of an educational video, I guess. I just wanted to talk over one of my workouts and go exactly through what I do personally for, well, today it's going to be an upper body workout. Now I was supposed to do legs yesterday, but I was supposed to do legs and shoulders yesterday. Got the legs in, and I was way too exhausted to do shoulders, so I tagged it onto today's workout, and I figured why not make a full video on what I do for my upper body. So today's workout is a chest, shoulders, and triceps workout. With everything, I do a 5-10 minute warm up on a treadmill, stair stepper, something to get the heart rate up, and then as you can see here, warming up my rotator cuffs and my shoulders a little bit, because in any upper body movement, anything you do, you're going to be using your shoulder, whether it's pushing, even for back, pulling, whatever it is, your shoulder joint's going to be involved. And there's lots of little small muscles in there that if you don't warm them up properly and you go straight to heavy weights with other muscle groups, if those guys try to help you out, you can easily rip one of them. So moved into our first exercise here. First exercise is an incline barbell press. I like doing incline movements because anything on the anything where the bench is on an incline is going to work the upper portion of your chest, whereas flat's going to work more of the full portion of your chest. An upper portion of your chest is a little harder to develop, so I like to focus on that a little heavier, a little more primarily when I do chest. One thing I want to point out here: constant tension is a big principle in bodybuilding, not so much in powerlifting. And right now I'm trying to build the size of my upper chest, so what I'm doing here is I'm not using a ton of weight. I'm using 135, and I'm just controlling it up and down. I'm not pausing at the top too much. I'm trying to really squeeze and contract against the weight instead of just moving a ton of weight, and that's a big difference here. If I wanted to throw maybe 175 on here and bang out 2 or 3 reps, or maybe even go 185 and try to hit a single, I could do that, but that's not what I'm working towards. I'm working towards building size, building hypertrophy, and with that, there's just certain ways of training that differ. So while I'm doing 8 reps here, which is more of a strength rep scheme, I'm still focusing on that constant tension and squeezing throughout the entire movement. And this angle here is a nice angle. I like from the side here, you can kind of see the bar path a little more. You'll notice that it's not straight up and down. It almost kind of arcs in like this. And that's really key. If you're going, especially on incline, if you're going straight up and down with the bar, I mean, you're on an incline like this. If you're going straight up and down, you're not really moving it over your chest. On any exercise, you actually want to have it arc when you're pressing. And you can see that here. And also, as you notice, as I get tired, as this this exercise moves on, I'm in my 4th and final set here, you see I have to rest. I have to kind of take some time to do that. And that's what you want. You want it to be not relatively easy at the start, but you want to start with a weight that you can control, and by the end, you're really forced to give it everything you've got on those last few. So after that, I moved into a little pyramid set with dumbbells. Now we're on the flat bench, working more of the entire pec, and with dumbbells again, your hands aren't fixed in a bar, or fixed on a bar, so you can kind of twist them and allow your wrist that freedom of movement. And for me personally, my left arm, I broke my wrist when I was a little kid, like 5 years old, and it messed up something in my growth plate, because this forearm right here is way shorter than this one. And so when I'm on a barbell, it's a lot harder for me because I feel like I'm always off balance. With dumbbells, however, you can kind of counteract that because each one is its own mover, and you're not on a fixed plane. And so I like doing dumbbells a lot, especially after my big compound movement. Sometimes I won't even have a barbell movement in my chest days, just because I like the freedom that dumbbells require. Plus, it's a little tougher to kind of control them. Even with a barbell, you have to control it up and down. But with dumbbells, there's even that extra plane of motion where you have to control your hands in synchronicity, even though they're not linked together with a bar. The rep scheme for this one, I'm going up in weight on every set, starting with a weight that I could do 12 reps with, and then going up 5 to 10 pounds on each dumbbell with each next set. And I think I finished. I started with 55s, I believe, for my 12, and I finished here with 75s for my 6. And the rep scheme's 12, 10, 8, 6. And then once I got to 6, I hit it up with a drop set after that. And as you can see, that was a grinder. I had to really struggle through that, and then just drop it back down, going through the weights you did previously and trying to hit as many reps as possible. And I even did lighter weights than I started with to really burn it out. And that did it for chest. Just 2 big primary exercises there, nothing too specific, no, not too many accessory exercises. And after that we moved into dumbbell shoulder press. This is a killer. If you're doing this with free weights, not even barbell, let alone doing it with dumbbells, this is by far my favorite shoulder exercise. As you can see here, bringing the elbow down to just about 90 degrees, maybe a little lower, but you don't have to come down like touch your shoulders. Down here is a ton of stress on your shoulder. You know, the entire movement of that front delt is right here, so you don't need to go really, really far. So I really focus on using a weight that's heavy. I can do 4 sets 8 with, but again, contract the entire time. After that, we moved into dumbbell lateral raises. I really like dumbbells for shoulders just because I think it's such a versatile muscle that giving it the dumbbells is the best way to challenge it specifically. Here you can see I'm using a little bit of sway, going a little heavier, but definitely still trying to contract pretty well, controlled on the way down, and that was 3 sets at 12. And to finish off the rear delt, which not a lot of people hit, I did a 3x12 with these cable flies. And you can really, if you look in, you can see that muscle in the back of my shoulder. That's your rear delt, and a lot of guys don't hit that, and that's what really gives you that 3D look in your delts, where you want to have that big delt. Well, if you only have these front 2 here, you kind of lack that back part. That definition is what really kind of separates a guy with a really large, well-defined shoulder from someone with just an average shoulder, someone who presses a lot. Because this is not used in a lot of exercises, and it's good to train this because if you're doing a lot of back movements or rows, it does get worked a little bit, and if it's underdeveloped, you can injure it. So after that, we moved into triceps, and this is, I've been doing this exercise a lot lately, and I really like it. And you might say, Will, you know, it looks like you're using a lot of momentum, it looks like you're swinging. I'm actually doing a little controlled mini pullover at the bottom of this. So what I'm doing here is I'm coming down to my head, and then I'm letting my arms slide back a little bit. And what that does is it actually stretches the long head of your tricep there. And it stretches that a little bit, and it actually has to contract over a longer range of motion to get it back to that starting position with your elbow. So you'll see my elbows dip, but my elbows never come past where I started with them. They go back, but they come back to that starting movement, and I have to press up. Then as you can see here, I get a ton of activation on my tricep. It looks pretty big from here, and that's because you can really see when it stretches and contracts, it balloons up with blood. But you're not using it for momentum, so it's almost like I'm pausing. I'm coming down, pausing, going back, coming forward, pausing, and going back up. I'm not swinging. Maybe on the last rep or so, you can almost, I guess I don't want to say kip because that's got so many negative connotations, but you can use a little bit of momentum to help you up on those last few. But this should be primarily a powerful movement, a strength building movement. That's why I keep it in the 4 sets, 8 reps kind of range. And then as the accessory movement to that, to kind of build or go more into hypertrophy, I do an underhanded underhanded cable pull down, push down. But basically what I'm doing is when I'm holding it here, you're grabbing it just with the cable, and you're twisting your thumb out to the side, and that's going to hit this outer little portion of the head here, which a lot of people they neglect, and it's a tougher one to hit. You know, most pushing movements, you've got your palms forward. Well, with your palms underhand, it's going to hit a whole different part of the tricep. So I encourage you guys to try out going underhanded on just at least one of your tricep movements. And that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Give me your hand and we'll make it there soon. Life is just one beautiful view. We'll eventually get there. This is the pursuit. This is the pursuit. This is the pursuit.